Most of the advice written on business discipline out there is written for people who cannot get out of bed in the morning. But if you are a successful entrepreneur, you do not have a laziness problem. You have a boundaries problem. And the rise and grind gurus, the hustle culture, love to tell you to just white knuckle and work more hours and stay up later and push more into a day. But the thing is true executive discipline is not about self punishment. It is not about working yourself to the bone so that you are so exhausted and so tired and you have nothing left to give to the life that you're building these businesses for, which may be your family or your hobbies or yourself or your friends. It's about building repeatable systems that protect your sanity and scale your company without you working 80 hours a week and feeling comfortable in your own salary and your own pay that you are receiving from the companies that you're working so hard to build. And so today I'm revealing five boring, like bulletproof discipline habits that I actually use building my multi seven-figure businesses and exactly how it can free up 15 hours of your week. And I'm not making this up. I'm not saying it because I read it somewhere else. I'm saying it's because it's true and it can actually change the way that you run your business. But fair warning, like all habits, it takes about 90 days to get them steamrolling. So my biggest advice is to pick one and start there. Okay. But here is a myth that I want to like debunk at the very beginning before we get into the discipline habits is that being addicted to discipline is just mixed messaging. Okay. True business discipline is organized and not just personal. So it's not just like an addiction. So we have to shift the narrative from working harder to protecting the asset, which is you, the person running the business, so you can break through your current revenue ceiling so you can continue to be creative, to come up with the good ideas for your business. And if you're swamped in day-to-day tasks, you will never get to that position. So here is the first business habit that was a game changer for me, and that is your weekly review of the business. So a lot of people online are going to tell you to do this on Fridays. By Friday, I'm spent. So I'm going to tell you I do it on Mondays. So you know what? Argue with the gurus if you want, but I'm saying it. Brooke said it right here. Mondays are the best day for this. So I will argue against anyone on the internet. But what you do is a real business leader, strategic business owner is not running on vibes and cash flow anxiety. They are truly looking at their cash flow every Monday and looking at their P&Ls every Monday to see where the money is going and where it is coming in from. So you can have a true audit on the rhythms and know like panic about, expectations, because math eliminates panic. That is something that is so important in business. You already know about what the payroll is going to be. You already know about what the utilities are going to be, especially if you've been in business 5, 7, 10 years. So put some math to it and calm that anxiety. But it takes me like 2 hours on a Monday. It's the best work I do for the week. I know where all the money came in from last week, all the money's going out this week. And I know if there are any gaps that need to be shored up or adjustments I need to be making on like when bills are paid or when money's coming in, or if we need to try to launch something new to try to bring in more revenue. But that few minutes or few hours that you take on Monday or Friday, if you want to go with gurus, is a huge game changer. All right. Number 2, the second habit is doing documentation over doing. So if you are continually like typing the same emails or doing the same processes or telling someone to do the same processes over and over and over again, you are wasting so much CEO energy. Okay. So you've got to get in a cadence. For example, like right now we're launching a new program with our youth recreational business. There are parents that are adding to the program late. So they broke out of the normal SOP, the normal operation procedure, because they're coming in late. What do I need to tell them? And I have like Facebook messages and emails that I don't normally deal with like customers that way. They normally come in through our office, but they're new and they're excited about joining us and they know they can contact me online. So we're going to get them into the funnel just the way that we get everyone else in there, but it looks a little bit different. And so instead of typing those same messages and emails over and over and over again, I typed up one document, and this is exactly what late ads do when they come to the business. Give it to the front desk team, give it to anybody that deals with the customers, and bam, this is how we'll get everyone in. reduces so much panic and anxiety. And then you're not having to wait to respond to customers who are really excited about coming to your business and receiving your products or services. So if you're ready to stop operating like you're an overwhelmed freelancer and start managing your company like a true 7-figure business leader, hit the subscribe button because we drop videos and strategic playbooks every Tuesday and Thursday on the channel. Okay, before I go into habit number 3, I want to say one other thing about the SOPs or the documentation. Okay. If you think that's super unsexy and boring, like rewriting something down or putting it in a Google Doc or recording Loom videos, like the real boring stuff is continuing to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again, like facepalm emoji, right? So I really want you to like conceptualize the fact that if you are working 80 hours a week and spending all of this time doing the same processes again, you don't own a company, you own a job. All right, the next bulletproof habit, number 3, is the hard hire and outsourcing control. So high achievers have a tendency to step back in execution mode every time a team member messes up, okay? So every time someone messes up, they're like, oh, I got it, let me take care of it. But the problem is you can't do that and do what you need to be doing well. So the discipline in this comes from resisting the urge to wear every single hat and coaching your team through the mistake rather than snatching the work back and saying, I'll do it yourself. I'll cover your shift. I'll come do that. No, let's talk about how we can get this situation solved from a leadership lens versus just jumping back in, because it will drain you. You will be exhausted, and then you'll be frustrated and feeling like you're paying payroll for people to do something that they don't actually get done, and you feel like you're having to go back in and do it anyway. And so then that can lead to resentment and like all other kinds of like interpersonal things. So really try not to throw that hat back on, because that is like something that I did for years and years and years, and it just left me discouraged and exhausted. Okay, the next bulletproof habit is protect your calendar blocks. So just like I was talking about on Mondays, like these are the things I do on Mondays. That is what happens every single week in my companies. But what about the other things that need to be done every single week, right? So if you will block your best times to work, like for me, it's like 10 to 1. Like that's where I get the most jam. Like that's when I record the podcast and the YouTube channel. That's when I do like all of my creative work, new business ideas. Like that is where I'm going for it. And so a calendar that's just reactive and always putting out fires and client emergencies is never going to be moving the business forward. And you're going to stay on that same like revenue ceiling that you always like have been at. Like, why can't I get past that $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever it is that you're trying to like achieve or get to the $1 million mark, right? So time blocking your high value, like strategic work, and turn off the notifications. Put the phone down, leave it in the other room. Like if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist and nobody gets your attention. And that includes answering messages, because every time you get pulled into messages, it takes you like 10 minutes to get back on track when you're working on a deep project. So if you have a business generating real revenue, but your calendar is in chaos and your systems aren't in place, that is what we do. I help business owners one-on-one figure out where they are and where we can make the greatest impact together. Because in this day and age, with the pace of AI and the things changing, you cannot do this alone. You will continue to implement the same habits over and over. But when you have a coach with you, not forever, for like 6 months, it can be a game changer for the rest of your business. So you can click the link in the show notes and we can do a free strategy call and see if maybe it's a fit for you. It's not a fit for everyone, but if you are somewhere where you already have a business that is generating a significant 6-7 figures of revenue and you want to really get your life back on track, not just your business, but your life back on track, that is what we do. And that's what I specialize in. Okay. The last habit, mic drop. This one, start now. Don't wait till Monday. Like, do it this week. Is not about what you add to your plate, but it's about what you have the guts to drop. Okay. So if you're going to step into a true CEO role, girl boss, man boss, is that a word? Man boss. I would say girl boss. It's like guy boss. I mean, like, when did it become such a thing, right? But if you're gonna step into that, you have to take off what I call the busyness badge. Okay. So if you have a whole day full of low stakes work that's not getting you anywhere, you are stealing from your company's growth. Like, you are the company's biggest predictor of growth. So what you're doing at your desk, on your phone each day is showing whether the company is actually growing or you're just continuing to manage like what you already have. So true discipline is saying no to the shiny new things, not trying out every single AI tool and every virtual assistant and is protecting that core strategy of what it is you want to do and then growing your business from there. Because discipline is not about doing more work. I'm going to say that again. Discipline is not about doing more work. It's about having the structural courage to do less of the wrong work. So stop trying to be the hero of operations and start being the architect of your company's growth, and your freedom. Until next time.